VCU fans, welcome to the Coaching Crew Show. I am your host, the coach, Charlie Kraus. And yeah, the A10 tournament did not go as hoped or as expected or as planned. So now the question remains, what's next? Do we still have a chance for the NCAA tournament, or did this phrase NIT come into play? So we're going to take a few minutes, if you will, and we're going to go through and I'm going to make a case. You decide the final outcome, because I'm in the same boat, and it comes down to who the selection committee, there's 13 members in that room, where they go with this. If we're looking at the same data and if we have the same exact mindset, let's get started. Let's start with VCU. VCU is 56th in the net rankings. That's that formula system they created a few years back that measures a bunch of different components and variables. So they're 56th in the net rankings. They also have 4 tiers. Quad 1, Quad 2, Quad 3, and Quad 4. Quad 1 is the most difficult. They went 3-3 in Quad 1 games, okay? Now, the Richmond game's still pending, and I'll talk about that more in a minute. Quad 2, unfortunately, they're 3-5. That doesn't go well. And then overall, they are 11-1 in Quad 3 and undefeated in Quad 4. That one loss in the Quad 3 kind of hurts. The Wagner loss, that's a spot. Okay, that's a spot. So you have that going for you. But you have 9-2 on the road. You are 9-2 on the road. That's pretty good. Your strength of schedule for non-conference opponents is 54th in the nation. Pretty good. And your RPI strength of schedule for non-conference opponents is 10th in the nation. Pretty good. There are a lot of factors that go well for VCU. The fact that they beat Dayton, the fact that they beat Richmond twice are bigger ones. So there's VCU. Now let's go to some other teams that are also in the same exact boat. Let's start with the Michigan Wolverines. Their net is a 34. And that alone says, okay, hey, let's put them in. Here's what I don't like about them. They are 17-14 overall, and all the storylines matter. Their head coach has been suspended for the remainder of the year when Juwan Howard punched or shoved an opponent. So they've got that going against them. What they do have going for them is their non-conference strength of schedule is 32nd in the nation. Pretty good. Their quadrant 1 victories, they're 5-10. That's not good. Now, granted, they play more, but still, that's not good. They're 3-3 in the quad 2, and then 9-1 and 3-4. So that still means they have one quad 1 loss or quad 3 loss in that game against Nebraska. That might hurt them along with everything else. So there's Michigan. Oklahoma. All right, the Sooners, Boomer Sooner. What I don't like about them, 18-15 overall, only a +3 on the win differential. That, I think there needs to be a 4-point margin. There used to be an unwritten rule that 4-point margin of victories over losses is a minimum requirement. Here's another thing going against Oklahoma. Their non-conference strength of schedule is 223rd in the nation. That ain't good. They only had 4 or 3 quad 1 games, and they went 2-1 in those. All right. They lost to Butler. That's not going to go well for them. So 4-12 in quad 1 says they play a lot of quad 1 opponents because the Big 12 is pretty good, but only winning 4 of those is not good. And then throw in a loss to Auburn as well. And I just not good. So I don't think Oklahoma's going to be it, but they're in the running. Xavier Musketeers. Once again, 18-13 is above the margin, but it's nothing too impressive. Their non-conference strength of schedule is 44th in the nation. Not horrible. That's actually pretty good. So that goes to their favor. 5-8 in quad 1 games. That's not, it says they can win them because they have 5, but it's not really going well otherwise. And quad 3, they had 2 losses. That doesn't go well for them at all. Okay. 2 quad 3 losses. And then also look at how they're trending. They are starting to lose a lot lately. and their last 10, not that their last 10 matters because it's a complete body of work, but their last 10 is not favorable at all. Wake Forest. This is a team I also have currently out, but I still have them in consideration line with the others for those last 4 in spots. So Wake Forest, how do I see Wake Forest? I don't see them in, even though they're 23-9, which that record is great. Okay, 23-9 says, hey, we need to be highly considered. But their non-conference strength of schedule, 349th. So they haven't played anybody. Okay. And they have 2 quad 3 losses. So they haven't played anybody and they've lost to some level teams. Quad 1, they're only 1-4. So they've only won 1 game against a team that's probably going to make the tournament. To me, that means they're out. Notre Dame, the 2 seed in the ACC tournament, yes, is a bubble team. What type of year are we having? 21-10. They have the wins total to get you in the conversation. Their strength of schedule non-conference was 74th in the nation. Quad 1s, though, they only had 2 wins out of 10 in the quad 1 category, and they took a loss in the quad 3 category. All right, that doesn't bode well. When you lose to, I don't know, it just doesn't go well. They lost to Boston College. I don't know if Notre Dame's in or not. It wouldn't surprise me if Notre Dame makes it in because they are ACC. But expect if you do see Notre Dame in, they'll definitely be playing in Dayton for the play-in game. BYU, here's another team that's going to be sweating hard on Sunday evening or tonight. So overall, their record overall, 20-10. They're winning 2 out of every 3 games. They got above or at the 20-point margin, 20-win margin. A non-conference strength of schedule of 37th in the nation. Put a check in that box. That goes well for them. 4-6 in quad 1 games. That's disappointing that they don't have more, but 4 wins says they can beat some of these opponents. Here's a giant red flag, though. They have a 1 quad 4 loss. Okay, 1 quad 4 loss. They lost to Pacific. That 1 game might be detrimental to their season, and it just might that they might be on the outside looking in. They might be one of the last 2 teams in. I'm going to go ahead and talk about Dayton. I don't think Dayton's in. Dayton has 3 quad 4 losses, and their non-conference strength of schedule is 121st, and that's with a win over Kansas. Okay, so yes, they have a win over Kansas, but between a weaker non-conference schedule and 3 quad 4 losses, that's not good. I don't think they're in, but their resume is going to get them in that conversation where whether they make it in or not, they'll still be part of the debate initially. So there we have it, Ram fans. Those are the teams that I feel that are fighting for the final 2 or 3 spots. We'll see. 6 p.m. tonight on CBS is the selection. We'll find out. Cross your fingers. Let's go VCU. And comment below what your thoughts are if the Rams are in or not. Well, let's hear public opinion as well, because this is a subjective argument, folks. And even though you're looking at objective material, it becomes subjective on that final flip of the switch on some of these last 4 in, first 4 out type of teams. Please subscribe. Let's go VCU.